You were never a Christian because a Christian will never stop being a Christian. It is part of the definition. What God has started, he will complete. Except for that whole Jesus coming back again thing, because that hasn't happened and probably will never. But, whatever. Nothing will prevent a Christian from being a Christian. If you don't know that, you don't even know Christian teaching. What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? I'm doing all right. Hope you're doing good tonight. So what we have first, though, is comments of the day coming from YouTube. I like to do these comments, and I get a lot of really good comments on my channel. Like, for instance, we got Scarlett here. You're awesome, dude. Love the channel. And I really like receiving those kind of comments. And then we kind of get the other far end of the comments, being that Godless Engineer is demonic. So I mean, it's a hit or miss kind of thing. If you guys don't know Dr. Jing Kim, he's a pastoral kind of doctor, and he thinks that the Hollow Earth is a biblical thing, as well as Hitler living there is also a thing, not necessarily biblical, but he does believe in those particular conspiracy theories. And then we have some of the more hypercritical ones that don't like my brand of, I guess, atheism or response videos. Politicrat. I really dislike GE. Instead of taking the intellectual high road and refuting with facts, GE just insults and makes Southerners look bombastic and equally stupid to that of their religious counterparts. If you want an interesting skeptical opinion, look into Rationality Rules, Genetically Modified Skeptic, and Cosmic Skeptic. This creator is a disgrace to the intellectual atheism movement. Godless Engineer, try arguing like a smart person instead of a half-retarded Southerners who can barely pronounce big words. Okay, this would actually be a very good one. Although I know the arguments that it could be, that could be used against it, because basically what they're going to say is that, well, the Bible is written by a first-hand account of creation because it came from God. They totally neglect the fact that humans wrote the Bible. Humans were inspired by God to write the Bible. So they totally neglect that part, and they implicitly trust whatever is in their book. Also disregarding the fact that the Bible has changed over the years. Now, he's a King James Version only kind of Baptist. His Bible has been changed since the first one. You can't sit there and be like, well, this is the word of God, when humans have been pissing all over it for hundreds of years. Well, at least I don't say half-retarded Southerners. That's not progressive at all. I think this guy needs to go back to progressive intellectual school. Politic rat. You should have a big R in your name there. Okay, so like I tend to take criticism of my works at least somewhat vaguely seriously. I did have a very snobby voice to it, because it's a rather snobby fucking comment. It's bombastic. But Rationality Rules, Genetically Modified Skeptic, Cosmic Skeptic, I've had all of those people on my channel. Obviously, I don't know if he doesn't know this or whatnot, but at least I know that Rationality Rules and Genetically Modified Skeptic still like my content. Cosmic Skeptic has gotten kind of big, and he may not like my content anymore, but who knows? That's neither here nor there, whether or not they like my content or anything. Those are excellent YouTube channels and excellent atheist activists that are in the community, and they are making great content. And I definitely suggest going and subscribing to them, because they definitely bring new things to the table, and they are still in the conversation. As far as the rest of this fucking shit pile of a comment, though, I would say that my content is geared towards a very specific set of the atheist movement, not necessarily the intellectual ones, but this guy totally disregarded my intellectual comments on the video that I posted posted today. And so I really don't understand why he would try to act all snobby and shit while at the same time succumbing to the same bombastic stupidity that he is lumping me under. To come off as some kind of intellectual high person on a high horse, to say that I am a half retarded Southerner, I think is I guess maybe beneath you, at least how you're purporting yourself to be here. You can't ride in on a high horse calling somebody a half retarded Southerner. You just can't, like, that's dumb as fuck to do. But anyways, enough on this guy. I do appreciate the criticism of my content, but at the same time, I'm not changing my content. It's not that I don't want to be more intellectual. I feel that there are plenty of intellectuals out there. I just feel like watching videos and either talking about how stupid they are and refuting their arguments in different ways. So if you don't want to be part of that, that's fine. It's not for everybody. I never expected that it would be. And then here's a comment that I get a lot, even so much that my friends now are actually asking me this question too. This is on my Joshua Feuerstein video. Are you guys not brothers or related in some way? No, officially, I am in no way related to Joshua Feuerstein, despite the fact that we kind of look similar. He's primarily German. I'm quarter Puerto Rican. There's no way I'm related to that guy. And then, of course, we have the obvious comment here. Josh is 1,000% evidence that homeschooling your inbred kids is a horrible idea. I would agree. Although, it amazes me because his parents were actually doctors working at a Mayo Clinic, and it amazes me how fucking dumb he turned out to be. Comments of the day. Get ready to facepalm yourself into hell. All right, here's a flat earther, Neo Matrix. When this goes up on YouTube, hey there, Neo Matrix. I see you commenting. Gravity question: if you threw an obese loser off a cliff the same time you threw a half-retarded scientism brainwash victim off a cliff, which one hits the ground first? Answer: nobody cares. That gets me right in the soul there, if I had one. This guy does not have much education. For one thing, an obese loser, I guess that's me, and then a retarded scientism brainwash victim, which I guess is also me, being thrown off the same cliff at the exact same time, which one would hit first? I'm gonna have to say they would both hit at the same time, not only because you're throwing the exact same objects off of the cliff, but there is this thing called, the terminal velocity, and so you throw two things off at the same time, they're going to get to be the same speed. Now, it's acceleration that kind of matters at that point, which one's going to fall faster. Eventually, if you have a high enough, place, I mean, they would eventually hit at the same time, if I remember my physics correctly. Oh yes, then there's through. I mean, he's a flat earther. I mean, what do you really expect him to spell it correctly? I mean, he spells U with one letter. I'm surprised he spelled through that way, but he got obese correct. Yeah, he spelled scientism, retarded, brainwash, victim. I mean, it's almost as though, like, this is one way to know if it's a troll or not, because this guy is definitely a troll. He misspelled the one word he should have gotten. He made it harder on himself. All right, comment of the day. This shit is so fucking stupid. Jungle Jargon on Paul's interview. You were never a Christian because a Christian will never stop being a Christian. It is part of the definition. What God has started, he will complete. Except for that whole Jesus coming back again thing, because that hasn't happened and probably will never. But, whatever. Nothing will prevent a Christian from being a Christian. If you don't know that, you don't even know Christian teaching. I have to say, this is by far the best comment. Because not only are you an asshole, but it is a perfect example of a No True Scotsman saying that Paul was never a true Christian. I believe that he was a pretty hardcore young earth creationist. He was in deep. And so, I mean, it's really kind of unnecessary to sit there and be like, oh, you were never really a Christian. That's just ridiculous. It's stupid. But, you know, if they want to cast out people that leave the faith, legitimately leave the faith, and say you were never really Christian because a Christian's always going to be a Christian and they'll never change their mind, which I think is kind of odd. It says nothing will prevent a Christian from being a Christian. That means you're going to reject facts in support of your own, like, worldview. Yeah, I mean, that is what they already do, but, you know, oh well. Finally, Ken Ham. Everybody loves Ken Ham. Humans consist of one biological race, but two spiritual races, the saved and unsaved. Many atheists show extreme racism toward the saved race. There's no saved race. You sound like a fucking racist. I mean, there's no saved and unsaved races. Like, that's not the definition of a race. I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about there, Ken. You're just making up words. You're not making up words, but you're making up definitions for words and applying them in ways that don't even make sense. Will the real Ken Ham please shut up? Please shut up.
I have you now.